You'll never guess what's going on inside this microwave right now. Okay, random side project today. I'm out here at the warehouse working on some stuff, getting things cleaned. I got a trailer, moved a bunch of stuff out of here, a bunch of the crates and things are gone. I have, however, gotten to the point where I need a dumpster. There's some kind of crappy plastic shelving and a few other things that, well, honestly just need to go to the dump. And I figure a dumpster is the way to go. So anyways, got that taken care of. Gonna be one delivered here in a couple of days. But our side project for the day is basically putting a bag on the side of my chair. Now on the side of my chair, we've got the power distribution box, and then there's this little bag that says GPS on it that I've just sort of zip tied to the side of the chair. And I have my keys and, you know, like a knife and some other random things in here. But this thing's kind of dumb and it flops around and looks pretty terrible. So my thought was, let's get a metal plate and put it on here. Then we can either, I don't know, get another bag that works better or has a zipper or some Velcro. And we can either drill holes in that plate and run some little bolts through or zip tie it on or maybe rivet on if we want to get too involved. But anyways, I was trying to figure out if there was a place to get metal plates from easily. And then I looked at one of the big blue box stores on the computer screen there that you can't see is what they call a galvanized safety plate. And those are designed to go between studs where you have drain pipes and other things like that, where there needs to be some support behind the sheetrock. Well, I don't know, whatever, safety plate. So anyways, we're gonna head over to a local big box store, I think the blue one, and see if these plates will work. I do still have my metal stuff in here. I've got the drill press, I've got the horizontal vertical bandsaw, although I don't know where the work plate is for it. I don't think that should be an issue necessarily, but anyhow, let's go to one of those places and see what we can find. Okay, we have returned and purchased a couple of things. We got these, what are these? 5 by 8 inch block off plates. I got 2 of them. They're slightly bent, but that's okay. And then also grabbed one of these, which is, I don't know the size, but it's smaller. This one has these little spikes sticking out of it, but we can just hammer those flat if need be. I think this is gonna be a little bit too small, but there wasn't really anything between these two sizes. I suppose we can always cut down the larger one. It is convenient that this already has holes drilled in it, although I think the holes might be too small. Anyways, I'm gonna grab some stuff. I'm gonna hop onto, I don't really wanna get on the floor. Maybe I'll sit on that cart and see what we can figure out with this. I think it's a little too long, but otherwise should work. Real quick before we hop on the floor, I robbed a couple of these old school side guard mounts off the steampunk chair, seeing as how we're gonna be parting that thing out now. So these little screws and these square nuts go into the rails, and these almost fit through the holes. It's so incredibly close. Now this metal is, I don't know what gauge it is, but I can't really bend it by hand. These corners are kind of sharp, so I could round those out, or maybe I'll put some weather stripping or something on there. I don't know, I should probably round them out. The only thing I don't know is when this gets mounted to the rail, if a single screw is going to be enough to hold the thing rigid. I'll probably wind up drilling a couple extra holes, so we've got the bottom one there that lines up, but I'd also like to get this second rail with a bolt through it as well. We'll bolt it on and see. I mean, I just want to avoid this motion, but I get the feeling it should probably be okay. So let me grab a drill bit real quick, and we will embiggen these holes. And I think this might be really easy. Oh yeah, whoops. Okay, so that's perfect. And by the way, you may notice I'm just holding this by hand. If this drill bit does bind, what's gonna happen is the plate will twist this way. So if I have my hand on here, it'll just pull it right out from underneath my hand and it's not gonna injure me. Still should have stuff clamped down, but anyways. Okay, let's see if this will hold to the chair with 2 bolts and see if we need to add 2 more holes or not. Okay, so my plan was to replace this little bag right here. I don't have a bag to put on that plate. Well, actually, I suppose I could just stick it back on there, but I'm pretty sure this is a little bit too long. Yeah, I've got my USB charger over here, which I don't really use this, and I mean, maybe I could move it to the back or something else. I don't know. For testing purposes, though, let's spin this thing around. We have room on the other side here. And actually, if this works, this is where my cell phone holder is. I would want to replace this anyways. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room here. So let's go ahead and pull this off. Then we will grab a couple of bolts and nuts. And slide these on here. Of course this bag's in the way too. We'll just tighten down one of them for now and see how this works. Get this all the way up here. Crank that down. You know what? That's gonna be fine. That's not gonna go anywhere just with 1 bolt on the bottom. So I don't think there's a reason to drill another hole and pick up this upper rail here. However, these sharp edges definitely need to come off of here. I'm not sure if we're gonna do that today, but I was just testing this to see if it was like a viable option. So, in this case, oh, you know what I could do? Hang on, let me take this back off of here. I think I'm gonna commit and just go ahead and pull that little bag off the other side. We're just gonna go ahead and pull this off of here because I would like this to be higher up anyways. So let's get these out. Then let's get our USB charger out of the way. I suppose I could drill another hole to mount the USB charger in as well. Like I said, I don't really use this thing. I just left it connected. It's nice to have it there, you know, in case I need it, but yeah. We'll slide this on here. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Oh, and what do you know? As we tighten this down, it flattens out the metal. It's still a little bit bent, but now we can get something better than this. But basically, we could put some little tiny bolts and big fender washers and just mount it on like that. Now, obviously, I want to paint this. I would make it black. But yeah, I think that should work fine. And then I could just drill, yeah, I'll just drill another hole and I'll have to extend this wire a tiny bit and then we'll just mount this up here somewhere. Yeah, I think that's going to be a viable option for mounting chairs, or for mounting bags on chairs. I mean, down here was okay, but like I said, it kind of flops around and using the zip ties, and it's down here where water spray and stuff gets to, but yeah, I think I like this. All right, cool. I'm going to play around a little bit. Oh, I just realized I had a few crates with a bunch of these little bags in them, but I just moved those over to the new workspace. So those are not here. Goodwill's a good spot to find these, or like any thrift store. But ideally, I'd like to find something on Amazon that's a little bit better. This Velcro is getting pretty worn out. But anyways, I'm going to play around. I'll be back. Once again, this is just kind of proof of concept. And eventually, I'm going to get a different bag that doesn't do... Well, I'm going to get a different bag that mounts better. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I found a couple of these little screws and nylocks. And what I'm going to do is basically punch a hole through the bag right here and right here. Then we'll drill a hole in this plate, and that will allow it to mount on there. I'm not necessarily too worried about the bottom. The inside of this sort of has like a cardboard material. Usually drilling through fabric is not the way to go, but where'd that screw go? There it is. But we're gonna try it just because, I don't know, what else are we doing here? Oh, what do you know? It worked. Look at that. We have a, there we go. We have a drill bit coming through fabric. All right, cool. So we should be able to push one of these bolts through. Maybe. Ah, there we go. So we got a little bolt sticking out the back here. Oh man, this is so incredibly ghetto, but I think it's gonna work for now. Oh man, we got lucky. Usually drill bits will grab this like velour or foam material or whatever it is and just rip it to shreds, but seems to be working. Yeah, I think it's because this has that inner cardboard, or actually it feels more like plastic than cardboard, but it does have sort of a stiffening protective shell in there. Yeah, and these are pretty low profile Phillips screws that are not sharp at all, so it shouldn't affect actually reaching into this little bag. This is so funny. Have you ever used a Phillips screwdriver to drive a bolt through fabric? There we go. We have a couple little things sticking out the back. So here we have our plate, and let's flip this around so we can see what we're doing here. So Sharpie, which I have prepared earlier. We'll kind of line this up where we want it, and we'll just make a couple of dots down here. And now we can drill a couple more holes here where these two dots are, and bolt our bag on. You'll love the pink. I've got all the house plants over here, so we've got the infrared illuminating grow lights or whatever. But yeah, we're gonna cover this more in a later video, and I'll turn this up. There we go. We'll cover this more in a later video, but I just wanted to see if this would work. And actually, what time is it? 4 o'clock. We still have some sunlight outside. I think I'm gonna drill these holes and I'm gonna paint this real quick. I don't have a grinder here to deal with these sharp edges, but there's always tomorrow or later or never. No, I have to grind those off or put some sort of weather stripping around them for sure. Okay, I'm gonna take this thing outside and paint it real quick. There's just enough sunlight left, so we should be able to dry it. Oh, I have a toaster oven in here. Yeah, we could use that to dry it if we need to. Anyways, I'll be back. Okay, here's our freshly painted part. Found some really old enamel spray paint. The nozzle was a bit messed up and I dropped it on the ground, but that's dangling there. Now here we have this thing, and you may say to yourself, hey, that looks like a microwave. Probably because it is, but this particular microwave is also a convection oven. So let's go ahead and get this set up. There we go. Once again, amongst the assorted bad ideas, paint fumes and a heating thing. Yeah, you know. Now I have to remember how to operate this thing. Okay, so that's heating element. That's microwave. That's high heating element, I think. Oh no, I think that's what we want. Okay, so let's do 3 minutes, maybe? I'll be able to tell when it turns on if I hear the magnetron fire up or not. So let's try this. Okay, we're not running the magnetron. I'll give it a second or two. Then I will put my hand in there and see if we feel some heat. Nope. There's my timer to remind me that the paint has dried. Oh yeah, you can see it. You can see the reflection there. Yep, heating element's on. All right, cool. So let's continue baking this in our convection oven. And yeah, something. Yeah, you can really see it glowing in there now. Look at that heat element. Using kitchen appliances in the shop. By the way, don't judge. I can guarantee that some of you at some point have dried paint inside a toaster oven before. This is a thing that is done. Guess we probably shouldn't leave it in here too long. I don't know if you can see that, but we're burning the paint just a little bit. We'll let that cool down. Let's see how things are doing here. It's been cooling for a minute. Yeah, our paint's just barely tacky. So, as I was saying, this is not the best way to do this, but I'm impatient and I want this to be painted before the end of the video. Here we go again. And again. this is a convection oven. We are not microwaving metal. I feel like I have to make that very clear. Convection oven, not microwave, even though it is, but we're not using that part, so shut up. Okay, my incredibly impatient tendencies are pretty obvious here. Let's see, is this thing cool enough to touch yet? Yeah, I think so. So the back side of this didn't turn out very well because, well, I dropped it on the ground after I painted it. And this side is okay-ish, but I moved it around on this metal grate and kind of, well, anyways, quick and dirty repair. This will be revisited later because I'm going to have to knock down these sharp edges. And I kind of have an idea for putting some little tubing and clips on here. But for right now, I think we'll have this, yeah, we'll put this side face in. And then, oh crap, I forgot the bag. Wait, is the bag over here? I think I left it. Yeah, I left it sitting over there, of course. Hang on, I'll be back. Oh, and that, I just charged this. Why is it dead? Oh, luckily I have another one. Okay, this light says it has 3 hours of run time. Oh, it's going down. Now we're at 2 hours. Okay, I think everything's all in frame here. And the light's down to 1.5 hours. I think we should be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our screws in here and get it mounted onto the chair. I'm trying to do this without touching it too much because the paint is pretty much dry, but it's still a tiny bit tacky. Ugh, that side does not look nice. Also, I would rather have used like satin or flat paint instead of gloss. It does a lot better with minor scuffs and abrasions and things like that. And we're probably gonna have to take this back off of here to drill another hole for this thing. Oh, actually I'm done. We need to put the bag on first. And screw holes should line up here. Hey, look at that. They line up and it's mostly straight. Excellent. And of course these have nylocks, so I'm gonna have to tighten them down with pliers, which is always a thing. And by pliers, I mean a socket of the appropriate size. And actually our paint's pretty much dry now. I can touch it and it's not tacky anymore. Let's grab our socket here. There we go. And then use our screwdriver in here. And also ideally for this not final product, I probably should have put some washers in here to spread out the load on that fabric, but this is gonna be fine. The bottom flops up, but I think gravity will do its thing and we should be all right. Should probably chop that off. Anyways, let's slide it on the chair. There we go. It's kind of funny how I talk about OCD and always, well, not being perfectionist, but like wanting to do things a certain way. And now we have this going on. Yeah, just kind of funny. Actually, you know what? For now, I'll probably just touch that up with a Sharpie and it'll be fine. But yeah, now we have a thing mounted on the side of the chair. This front edge won't matter because it's up against the power distribution box. We do have a nice little razor blade back here. So I will have to be careful with that, but I don't normally reach around the back of the chair. Yeah, I think this is a viable option potentially. Now I'm gonna find another bag that's better suited, maybe one with a zipper, like one of those dump pouches where you unzip it and it flops out, like an admin pouch or something like that. But this will work for right now for proof of concept. I gotta figure out this thing. Like I said, I don't really use this, especially since I have this, but it's already attached to the chair and it's kind of obnoxious to remove because I've zip tied everything in there. But anyhow, yeah, I think that'll work for now. I'm going to figure out where to mount this. I think I might make one of these holes a little bit larger and then mount it up higher or something. I don't know. I'm gonna do that and then I'll be back. Okay, so the back of this charger has this little plastic nub that sticks up and it's spaced across from this hole that you mount it with. The idea is this nub goes in one of the track slots and then the bolt that holds it on goes through the other to keep it from rotating. So what I realized was this will fit right here, and it covers up all those scratches, which I kind of touched up with a Sharpie, but I think all we need to do is take this out, replace it with the factory bolt that goes all the way through this thing, like so. Oops. Like so. And then we should be able to just mount it right there. So let's try that. Now, we can drop our bolt through here, which is, of course, a different size. There we go. It's a little bit crooked. Picks up the bolt just fine, though. Okay, as jank as this whole job is, I can't have this being crooked like that. I'm also going to tie these wires back up when we're done, but I'm going to widen out that hole a little bit because I know I'm a weirdo, but anyways, let me fix that real quick. Okay, we're going to go ahead and call this done for now. It's as much as I can do today without much more screwing around, and turns out I don't have all the tools here that I actually need. But anyways, we've got our little bag mounted here. I can put my keys and knife and flashlight and stuff in there. And we've got our Permobil USB charger there. I am just going to be removing that at some point. I don't feel like taking everything apart right now and unplugging it because I've got all the cable management and everything back here done up. And well, to be honest, I'd rather not mess with any of that right now. Anyways, we have our charger bag, power box, and yeah, so I think we've got a valid proof of concept here. Next thing I'm going to do is find a different cell phone holder. This one's getting kind of worn out anyways. It's just a little like magnetic thing. But I am going to put another plate over here. We will revisit this at some point because I'm going to put kind of a rubber surround, kind of cut some rubber tubing and use some little insulated D-clamps to hold it around the edges to make it look a little better and whatnot. But yeah, anyways, there we go. We've added stuff to the chair. Okay, here's another look at it, maybe with slightly better light. It's impossible to film with these white walls, but luckily that won't be an issue for long. Anyhow, I was able to get this fairly straight, so that looks good now. Yeah, I keep saying it, but that's going to get replaced. But it's nice having stuff that's not hanging down here. So yeah, I like this. I think it's going to be a good way to mount stuff. We will have to deal with the sharpness and all that, but yeah, I'm happy with this end result. Okay, I've got everything put back in here now. Got my keys in this back area, got my knife here in the middle, and then, which just fits in there. Then in the front pocket, we have my little flashlight, and then some allergy stuff. But yeah, I think works a little better. I don't have to reach down quite as far, and it tucks in nicely with the side of the chair, so it's not going to stick out, and I don't have to worry about water and stuff hitting it when things fly up off the tires. But yeah, I like it. I think that'll work pretty well for now. Now, Amazon does sell a bunch of different pouches and things like that. It's a little hard to get an idea of how they are, though, without seeing them in hand. Luckily, here in Portland, there's a whole lot of uniform shops. So what I can do is go to one of those, take a look and see what I might like, get the measurements and whatnot. Sometimes the stuff is pretty expensive at those places, but I think it's better sometimes to just actually get your hands on it and see what it feels like. So anyways, not sure what's next.